I feel great. Um, I, I feel like I've really put a lot of the pieces together. We've worked on what body parts to get stronger, what body parts need to be more limber.
Tiger Woods never imagined that one decision made in a courtroom could become more dangerous than anything he had ever faced on a golf course. For decades, he defeated the greatest players in history, survived career-ending injuries, overcame personal scandals, and completed one of the greatest comebacks sports has ever witnessed. But today, the challenge standing in front of him isn't another major championship. It's a legal battle that could redefine how the world remembers his entire legacy. Imagine spending your whole life building a reputation as the greatest golfer of all time, only to see that reputation tested not by your swing, but by evidence collected inside a courtroom. Could this become the final chapter of Tiger Woods' legendary career, or is there still another comeback waiting to happen? That's the question millions of fans are asking right now. The latest court ruling has dramatically raised the stakes, giving prosecutors access to medical and prescription records that Tiger's legal team fought hard to keep private. Those records could become one of the most important pieces of evidence in the case, and legal experts believe they may shape everything that happens next. The case stems from a crash that shocked the golfing world when Tiger's SUV was involved in a serious accident on Jupiter Island, Florida. While investigators confirmed that alcohol was not detected through a breath test, the investigation didn't stop there. Authorities suspected impairment from prescription medication, leading to a legal battle that has only become more intense with every passing month. One decision in particular changed everything. Tiger reportedly refused a requested urine test, and that refusal immediately became one of the biggest talking points for prosecutors. Why would someone cooperate with one test but decline another? Was it legal advice? Was it personal privacy? Or did investigators believe it suggested something much more serious? Those questions continue to fuel endless debate among fans and legal analysts alike. As the investigation expanded, prosecutors requested months of prescription records to determine exactly what medications had been prescribed, when they were filled, and whether any carried warnings against operating a motor vehicle. Tiger's defense argued that every American has a constitutional right to medical privacy, but the judge ultimately ruled that much of that information could be obtained because of its potential relevance to the criminal investigation. Think about that for a moment. This isn't just another celebrity headline. This is one of the most recognizable athletes in history watching some of his most private medical information become part of a criminal case. That's something no amount of trophies or championships can prevent. But before anyone rushes to conclusions, it's important to remember one critical fact. Tiger Woods has pleaded not guilty, and under the law he remains presumed innocent unless prosecutors prove their case in court. That's a distinction too many headlines ignore. Evidence being gathered is not the same as guilt being established. Yet every new ruling seems to move the investigation one step further. Court documents indicate that prosecutors are now attempting to build a complete timeline, comparing prescriptions, medical evaluations, and the events leading up to the crash. If those records reveal medications carrying clear warnings about driving, prosecutors could argue that Tiger knowingly placed himself and others at risk. On the other hand, the defense may argue that chronic pain, multiple surgeries, and years of rehabilitation explain why those medications were medically necessary and legally prescribed. After all, very few athletes have endured what Tiger Woods has endured physically. Multiple back surgeries, spinal fusion, countless knee procedures, and the devastating 2021 crash that nearly cost him his leg transformed his daily life into a constant battle against pain. Could anyone truly understand what decades of elite competition have done to his body? Does surviving unimaginable pain automatically make someone reckless, or does it simply remind us that even legends remain human? Those are difficult questions without easy answers. The reality is that Tiger's story has always been built on extraordinary highs and heartbreaking lows. From becoming golf's youngest superstar to dominating the sport like no player before him, from personal scandal to miraculous redemption at the 2019 Masters, every chapter has proven that his career has never followed a predictable path. That's exactly why this latest controversy has captured so much attention around the world. People aren't simply watching another legal case, they're watching the future of one of sport's greatest icons unfold in real time. every courtroom decision now carries enormous consequences, not only for Tiger's legal future, but also for the legacy he spent nearly 30 years creating. Will history remember him primarily as the greatest golfer ever to hold a club, or will these legal battles forever become part of his story? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Tiger Woods can overcome this challenge just as he overcame so many others? Or do you think this case could permanently change how fans remember his career? And if you're enjoying this deep dive into one of golf's biggest stories, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because the next developments in this case could change everything once again. The biggest question now isn't whether Tiger Woods still has the ability to inspire millions. It is whether the legal system will allow his story to end on his own terms. Prosecutors are no longer relying only on witness statements or observations from the night of the crash. They are carefully assembling what they believe is a complete timeline, examining prescription records, hospital evaluations, and every detail that could explain Tiger's physical and mental condition before and after the accident. If medical professionals documented signs of impairment shortly after the crash, that evidence could become one of the strongest arguments presented in court. At the same time, Tiger's defense team is expected to challenge how that evidence is interpreted, arguing that years of surgeries, chronic pain, and medically prescribed treatment should not automatically be viewed as proof of criminal wrongdoing. This case has become far more complicated than a simple traffic accident. It has evolved into a debate about privacy, prescription medication, personal responsibility, and the enormous pressure placed on elite athletes whose bodies have been pushed beyond ordinary human limits. Think about everything Tiger has endured over the last 2 decades. The personal scandal that nearly destroyed his reputation, the injuries that many doctors believed would end his career forever, and then the unbelievable victory at the 2019 Masters that reminded the world why he remains one of the greatest competitors in sports history. Most athletes never recover from one major setback, yet Tiger has fought through countless obstacles that would have forced others into retirement years ago. That is exactly why so many fans refuse to count him out today. But there is one harsh reality that even Tiger Woods cannot escape. Courtrooms don't measure greatness by trophies, world rankings, or unforgettable victories. They focus only on facts, evidence, and the law. Every new ruling has brought prosecutors closer to information they believe is essential to their case, and every hearing increases the pressure on one of the most famous athletes the world has ever known. If prosecutors successfully connect prescription records, medical findings, and the events surrounding the crash into one convincing narrative, Tiger could face consequences that extend far beyond this single case. His reputation, business partnerships, and future role within professional golf could all be affected. Yet none of that changes one important legal principle. Tiger Woods has pleaded not guilty, and he remains innocent unless proven guilty in court. That fact deserves to be remembered regardless of public opinion or sensational headlines. In today's world, social media often delivers its verdict long before a courtroom does, but true justice depends on evidence rather than emotion. Still, the public can't help wondering what comes next. Will this case end with a negotiated resolution, or will it move toward a dramatic courtroom battle that places every detail under the spotlight? Could new evidence completely change the direction of the investigation? Or will Tiger once again surprise the world by overcoming another challenge that once seemed impossible? History has shown that betting against Tiger Woods has rarely been a wise decision, but history has also shown that every comeback becomes harder than the last. The body ages, the pressure increases, and every mistake carries even greater consequences. Perhaps that is why this story feels so emotional. It is not simply about a legal dispute. It is about watching one of the greatest athletes of all time confront a battle that talent alone cannot solve. Millions of people grew up watching Tiger redefine what was possible in golf. He inspired an entire generation, transformed the sport into a global spectacle, and built a legacy that changed professional golf forever. But every legendary career eventually reaches a moment where character matters as much as championships. Whether this becomes another story of redemption or the most painful chapter of Tiger's remarkable life is something only time and the courts can decide. One thing is certain, the world will be watching every development because this case could shape how future generations remember one of the greatest names in sports history. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Tiger Woods can overcome this challenge and protect his legacy? Or do you think this legal battle will permanently change how history remembers him? Share your opinion in the comments below because your perspective matters. And if you enjoyed this deep analysis and want updates on every major development in Tiger Woods' case and the biggest stories from the world of golf, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next update.